Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Now I can't hear you.
Now
Wait a
you hear
minute.
me.
I really want to throw things. I hate technology. Wait a minute. Let me see. System settings, input, output. Now I hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
My friend Wood is the tech guy, so he kind of figured it out.
What did he figure out?
I don't know. I have anxiety. Are we starting?
Wait a minute, your tech guy is giving you what, therapy or something? Is
Well,
he?
no. I hate when someone goes, don't yell," and I'm not yelling. Like calm down. You know what? You know what I say? Is it? What's your name, by the way?
You know who I am. I'm Fred Stoller.
You do look like me. That's weird. And your name's
Yeah,
really Fred Stoller.
yeah. That's nobody told you what this show is going to be about. I'm Fred Stoller. I look like you. I sound like you, but I have a different life. I'm a different person. But
Well,
I'm still a thrill seeker.
well, thank you for lightening it up. I don't know. Are you good with tech stuff, Fred?
No,
Uh,
I don't know anything about it.
I
I don't
just have to
like it.
relax. I hate it. I want to break things. You know what I resent? I don't know if you're, I assume you're not in showbiz like I used to be. I'm peripherally in it. I don't know. I I resent when, well, they died. Norm Macdonald, Gilbert. I don't resent that they died, but Larry David, when they can't do something, you're a genius. You don't have to know how to do a computer. You don't have to know how to do Uber. He's a genius. With me, it's like, what's wrong with you? You can't change a tire? No wonder why you live alone. And they kick me in the head.
Yeah,
I
but you
was,
should you should you should learn how to fix a tire. I mean, it's
I
not hard.
really, but
No,
like I said before they died, did Norm Macdonald, Gilbert Gottfried, Don Marrera, Larry David, they're geniuses. You don't have to do it. Oh, if I was 27% more known, Fred, will do it for you. You're a genius, but I'm not, and I resent it.
yeah, but maybe it's just, luck of the draw. I mean, even if people are helping you, there's still going to be times when you can't be helped. I mean, like today, for example.
Well,
But it's not about you don't want to crumble. You don't want to break
no,
down or
I
try
didn't.
to.
I would have said if Wood wasn't there, he's a guy who FaceTimes me. I would have said, Fred, I can't do it. I don't know what to do. And the pressure, it puts pressure. Why can't you do these things? Why don't you cook? Why can't you hang things up? But someone help me with that. But I'm calm now. I'm happy it's working.
You've just got to think to yourself, low overhead is the key to happiness, and less is more. And to just calm down, have an orange juice, maybe have some fresh orange juice. If for
I
you
did at
live
the
by.
bagel place.
Yeah, I saw the picture, and but no onions, no onions on there. You
Nah,
didn't,
nah. You know what
tomato.
I hate? I hate when you say just a smear of cream cheese and they don't listen and it's oozing out and you're taking a lot of napkins. I don't like a lot of cream cheese. Like you said, less is more, low overhead. And again, it came out, oozed out, it hit someone next to me, like John Belushi in a Animal House. So you're not neurotic, Fred, even though you look like me,
No,
and
I'm neurotic, but I'm just a guy who I try to remain calm. I do the edibles. I like to take edibles and
but do they don't they stay in my system for 2 days, and I
yeah,
I
but
nap all day.
it's okay to nap all day because I'm basically retired, just like yourself, and sometimes I just want to walk around and the normal normal way people walk around and get a piece of pizza, a bagel, something. I'm just yeah.
Well, you
mm.
sound like me in a lot of ways. I mean, what do you do?
like I said, I'm retired. I used to be an electrician. I
Oh,
used to, I also was a soccer coach for a while. I love soccer. I grew up with soccer,
I
and
got to tell you a soccer story. We're opposite. So I'm older, so soccer wasn't so important, a big thing when I was a kid. But I went to camp, and like someone kicked a ball, and I put my hand out, flinching, and I touched it, and they got a penalty kick, and they lost because of me. So I have trauma about soccer.
But you've got to understand it's not about what you're doing, it's about how you feel about it. You can look at that moment and go, "You know what? I don't have to relive that. I don't have to go through that again. I can look at that, just as something that happened and I
Yes.
learned from it." And you're not a you're not a soccer player, I mean,
Yeah,
let's,
that's what I learned.
you
I'm not a
know, yeah.
you seem like normal compared to me that you were a coach and
Yeah, I was
you
a
could hang
coach.
things up.
Yeah, I like to hang things up, because I don't want anything on the ground. And also, that's where bed bugs are. And you can get bed bugs even if you're at your own house, you can get bed bugs. So,
Well, that's what do you mean? That's all that they are is at your house in beds.
yeah, but you don't have to just find them, have them, like if you're at a bad hotel and you get them there, you bring them back home. But what I'm saying is, even if you're at home, you you can bring them home. So it's like,
Right.
they just appear or something.
Am I never know if I'm at the right place with the camera. You could see me. Let me ask: did people think that I'm me and any funny or weird things? Don't tell me you ever met a woman because when I did stand up, Ray Romano slept with a woman she thought was me, and I resent Ray Romano. You know. So one time though, I was in Vegas. I just thought I'd have an adventure. I thought, let me fly to Vegas. Someone will recognize me, a woman, and I'll have an adventure. Just go there. That didn't happen. But this guy went, Ray Romano. I went, no, no, I'm not. You're somebody. I said, yeah, I hadn't played the cousin yet. He goes, but you're somebody. I went, yeah. He goes, stand by my roulette wheel for luck. So he lost 4 times in a row, and he went, Fred, you don't have to stand here anymore. So he
He
kicked
just
me away. I was
he just
bad
thought
luck.
he got rid of you because you were bad luck. But maybe if you were standing, by the bathroom, people would ask you for a cigarette, which is, in Vegas you can smoke in indoors. So,
What's
did
the
you
good
ever
thing
get
about
anyone ever ask you for a cigarette, Fred?
it's a very specific question. Maybe when I live in New York, hey, you got a light, and but it's not a thing that's happened. And one time, early in the Raymond days, another woman thought I was Raymond, and she worked for Nike, and she's, oh, I have the free sneakers. And I should have said I am Ray, but I pretend I'm not to get free sneakers, but I didn't. I couldn't have done it. Now, do you have such? Tell me any stories of people thinking you were me, or has it ever happened?
Yeah, I've had people think I was a woman, but not you specifically. But people say, they see me and they think that I'm a good-looking woman, because I think in some ways I am, because I'm not. But if somebody thinks that of me, then that's they can enjoy that.
No one ever said you look like the guy that was the cousin on Raymond or from Dumb and Dumber.
No, well, they said they thought I was in the airplane, and they thought one person thought I was a cop in a Dog Day Afternoon, but
That's my
not
favorite
really.
movie, but I don't see who they would have thought you were from Dog Day Afternoon, especially since
One of the cops outside where they barricaded up and they had cops outside. Not it wasn't a lead role. They thought I was just, part of the interference, of the cops in the movie.
and what'd you say?
I said, it's, yeah, it's me. I said, I didn't even respond, because I just,
What do you say to
I
that?
thought I'm a little hard of hearing, and I think it could be from the earwax. That's that's why I'm a little, 'cause you talked earlier about people saying you're talking too loud, and that's could be just earwax. It's yeah.
Well, if you know it's earwax, why don't you take care of it?
Well, I don't know for a fact. I have a hunch. I have an idea. I'm pretty sure, but I've
Yeah.
just
Let me
I
tell
want to
you
go.
a humorous story. Maybe it's not laugh out loud funny. When I was a kid, I went to the doctor that I had pain in my foot. And then he checked in my shoe. There was a sock in the end of it that I didn't see that was making it hard to put my foot in the shoe.
That's one of your jokes, or this
No,
happened.
it's a true story. If I did that in my act, they would stare at me the way you're staring at
No,
me.
but but see, we got a certain look on our face where people see us and they think that we do stuff sock in our shoes, or whatever. But
We have the
you
type of face that looks like we have socks in our shoes.
we look like the type of face that, if you look at a shoe, you look aerial view of a shoe, you're gonna see a big hole, and then anything can go in there. Like you could put a piece of pizza, a donut, anything comical. That's where I get a lot of my ideas. I've never done stand up, but of course, I've always wanted to do it at some point in my life, like you. And, like I said, when I realized it was you, and I knew it was you early on, when you first did Evening at the Improv. When you did a set on there, everyone thought I did Evening at the Improv,
I thought
and
you said no one ever recognized you thinking they were me.
well, they didn't recognize me, but you're right. I guess you caught me in a lie. You got me. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to impress you, honestly, and I
So
want
you
to
want to
work
be
with you.
modest and think that I'm not anyone would think you look like. You're
Yeah.
negging me.
Yeah. I'm trying to get to be a bigger part of whatever's going on. If there's something going on, it's if
What are
there's
you
if there's
nervous?
well, if there's a party, no, I'm not nervous, but when I go to these parties, I like to have, you know, um,
Pizza.
pizza, and I like to have cookies, and chocolate chip, but I've always liked milk chocolate chip cookies, but they're not really the gold standard. Most people like a bittersweet uh chocolate piece that goes, what do you call them? Chocolate nuggets?
I don't know. I'd be lying if I said, but I also think it doesn't matter. I think
Well, nothing matters. There's nothing. How many times I hit my fingers with the hammer, because I'm an electrician. So I have to open up the call boxes sometimes, and the locks are broken.
so. You use
So
a
I use
hammer to open a toolbox.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
really the way you do it now, because and I hit my fingers and I hit my toes, and sometimes I just start dancing around and beating on the ground with this hammer and making all these tribal sounds. And yeah, it's a weird life for me.
Does anyone ever like see you show up the electrician and you go, they go, you're that schmucky guy. I'll tell you a story. So, like, I went to a urologist the other week, and you get older. There's things they got to look at, things concerned. So it was a young urologist, and he says, "Oh, I saw you on Seinfeld a few weeks ago, which was shot 25 years ago, but I guess I luckily still look recognizable." And I played like surprise a neurotic guy that I was nauseous from having vitamins. I was depleted. I was depressed because a button fell off my shirt, And so he had to do the thing where, the finger up the bottom to look at the prostate. And I said, "Oh, I'm not ready yet. Could I have water? Could I sit?" And he had this look of this smile like, "This is the same guy I just saw on Seinfeld. It's the same guy." So I wonder, do you ever have people?
That's the end of the story? There's nothing else?
Well,
You don't
I
wanna
think that's kind of humorous that the guy, I'm being as neurotic as I was on Seinfeld, and he got to see me in person. You don't think that's kind of a humorous story?
Yeah, but she didn't talk about any of the juicy bits, like, the exam or something. No, what
Um,
I'm
I,
what I'm saying is,
yes.
do you think playing these neurotic roles on television and in the movies has made you more neurotic?
Well, I don't know. I think I was pretty good at it as I was when I was 15 or 16. They tested me for allergies. Did you ever get tested for allergies?
Yeah, of course, I have most of them.
Why is that funny to have a lot of
Yeah,
allergies?
because allergies are funny, it's like one moment you're fine, the next moment your head's all red and bloated.
Well, I'm glad that you can laugh at. Well, that's what with me. People go, you complain about your mother so much, and this you got to laugh at the absurdity of it. So, all right. So what they did was they did sometimes in your back, but all over my forearms, they poked me with things, and technically, they're not needles. They're little circles, and then they pour things in them to see if they swell up, to see what you're allergic to. So they did pokes all over my arms, and I was dizzy. They said, "You need to lie down." I was lying on a cot, and this 6-year-old girl was sitting there with her arms just, or whatever. I just had them done. So that was before I was an actor. All right, not a great story. I'm trying to show that I
Yeah,
always
I don't
was.
think it had anything to do with anything about what we were talking about.
Yes,
What are
it
you
was. You
talking
said
about,
you.
pricks? We're talking about a guy, giving you an exam that you had to get, and then now you're talking about getting,
Well, I was
pricked with
related.
not a needle, but they look like.
Circles poked, yeah, little well, it had to do, you said, did playing neurotic people, hypochondriacs,
Yeah,
make me
but
more neurotic? But I guess I always was squeamish.
yeah, you were always, you don't like. Would you like sushi?
I tell myself it's good for a bad stomach, but I never go after sushi. It's one of those things. It's
Yeah.
like it's one of those things you think is supposed to be good, and it's so expensive, and I never understand why.
Yeah, and it's really just raw fish. Which, if you tried to get that over, if you this in the 1950s, and people have these, one car, and they have all these kids. If you're trying to get the kids to eat sushi in the 1950s, it would never go. It's I've always been very fascinated with the trends of sushi. I've marked many of the trends of sushi in a journal I have that I'm gonna be releasing as a book when I
Oh,
get
you have
enough.
a book?
Got a book about sushi. I
So
should
there's going
just.
to be a book about Fred Stoller, by Fred Stoller, but a different Fred Stoller, and people are going to think it's me.
Yeah,
So I hope it's good.
hopefully they get confused and they're, looking to buy all your stuff, and then they
It's
buy
not a
my.
lot of people.
Well, it's more people than, White Plains, New York, you
That's where you
know.
live.
Well, yeah, it's where I used to live. I live
Well,
there now, but I used to live there too.
I had a recent book about my friendship with Norm Macdonald. I'm plugging. You know what I like about your show? Is this your show or mine? I'm confused.
It's nobody's show. That's what it's called. Nobody's show. No, I guess it's the Jeff Richards show if you had to be specific about it, but it's really my show and your show because we're driving it, and we're trying to have a good time, and we're trying to talk about things in our lives and not be so hard on ourselves. My God, it's so easy to be hard on
I
ourselves,
know.
and it's really the kiss of death, and you really have to fight that. And
You're a lot like me in that way.
yeah, it's I mean, there's the fact that my name is Fred Stoller and you're Fred
It's-
Stoller. and we
Well,
look the same.
sorry you had to deal with that. Did you ever think of changing it?
Yeah, I thought of changing it. As soon as I saw you on the evening at the Improv, I
You
thought, I'm not going to have any. If this guy blows up, I'm not going to be able to have any. You know, privacy.
How is your woman situation? Hope better than mine.
Yeah, well, I've got nothing going on, but I'm hopeful. I've come across some really interesting pictures on Hinge and Bumble and all these different dating sites.
You're
And
hopeful.
yeah, I'm hopeful, but I'm also, realistic. I've never met anyone on one of these dating sites. I had, I've had messages. I've been on message boards.
I had a
It's
yeah, I tried and then oh, you got a match and then I don't know what to say. Oh, I see you have a dog. And then they ghost me
yeah,
like
yeah,
you don't hear from them again.
yeah. And then sometimes they put the dog picture as their profile picture, and I don't know what to think. You just got to go. If it's worse than a dog, if this woman or man is worse than a dog, then that's when they put the dog picture up. I mean, who leads with a dog picture or something like that? It's
I
misleading.
wonder all right, now I have the glasses off so they could see we look alike. I see it now. I'm gonna try to do without glasses, but everything's blurry.
Yeah, but these things are great because right now I don't have a monitor, so I'm just looking straight at the camera, and that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Like your
And
ears do the laugh,
yeah, just
the
like
wax.
no,
I
I get nervous and I laugh, and
I
so
so
sometimes I forget to brush my teeth before I go to bed, and then I wake up and it's kind of a nice taste in my mouth because I don't know why, but sometimes it's nice.
sometimes you ever like forget to wipe all the toothpaste off your face when you go outside?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, y- I'm trying to see how we're alike because sometimes I forget
Oh,
things.
you forget to do that. Well, you can get toothpaste in those little, they look like mints, and you don't have to put any water on your toothbrush. You can just put the mint in your mouth, chew it up, and then it gets foamy, and then you can brush your teeth with it. But you're not gonna scrub the sides of your mouth with your toothbrush because it's all the liquids is already in your mouth.
I mean, I hope I don't sound like that just
You
babbling
know,
on, but I'm
w
scared I do. So I'm getting a
well,
little nervous because, you know, it's like the man of La Mancha where they tortured him by holding a mirror to his face and he saw who he really was.
yeah,
But
well,
I'm
but
not delusional. I don't think I'm the man of La Mancha.
no, you don't. I could be the man of La Mancha. You could go for me, I could go later, and we could tag each other out. But what I'm trying to say is the way you are and the way I am, and if you think that what I'm doing sounds like I'm doing an impression of you, well, I sound even more pathetic than you do because I'm a version of you.
That's
Um,
slicker that could fix things.
that's right. But even if I lied and said I was an electrician, a retired electrician, and you found out later I was AI, wasn't real, then you got a your biggest steak and potato platter.
So I could be talking to an AI version of me.
Well, anything's possible with these advancements in technology. I would think of all the people in the world that would understand the importance of technology, maybe not necessarily technology, but the importance of it. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, well, I hope I don't sound this pathetic, but I don't mean to call you pathetic, Fred. I
Listen, we're not pathetic, but we have, an outer layer of ourselves that would lead people to believe that we're pathetic, but we're not really pathetic because, we can have a good conversation with just about anybody. We have the love of human beings, but also cats. You have a
yeah,
beautiful
that
cat
was
from what
just
I saw.
my cat was just walking around. We enjoy pizza and donuts. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it, but you don't want to get too much pizza and donuts. I think the last time I saw your cat in a photo, it seemed to be a little bigger than it needed to be. It's
Well, I have a funny story. Well, first of all, this isn't the funny part. That I even though I'm not heavy, which you're not, I can't. I could see just your top. That I would have too much pizza and donuts and ice cream and candy almost at least every day. So the doctor said I'm pre-diabetic. So I've been trying not to eat all the junk. But here's a funny story. So many years ago, my first cat, Mitchell, he was a little big, overweight. So I took him to a vet, not for that, but just in general. I said, "Is he overweight?" And the vet said, "Nah, he's fine." And she was overweight. Next year, I go back, and the vet had lost a lot of weight, and now she goes, "Your cat's a little overweight." Meaning, all right, this isn't laugh out loud, but meaning when she was overweight, the overweight cat was fine. When she lost weight,
yeah.
you got to really take care of that
Yeah,
cat.
people do that with people, people do that with people. They lose weight and they go hang out with the cheerleaders or whatever. But then if a cat like that has that sort of effect on a heavy woman, well, it's sort of like it's crossing dimensions, but we're all spirits anyway. So we're just,
Oh,
yeah, we're spirits. It's not about. I mean, even these ants are spirits. They're really probably just as glorious and full blown as anything you've ever seen in nature. You
are
know.
you a vegan, Fred?
Yeah, I'm a vegan. Oh, I have a, what do you call it? Um, a Volkswagen. I have a Volkswagen car.
Okay.
I have a Volkswagen, and I have a bike. Do you ride? You ride a bike, don't you, Fred?
I don't.
Why not?
I don't know. That's like when someone says, "How come you never watch Northern Exposure?" There's no specific reason.
No, I think riding a bike is more universal than northern exposure. You know, um, when you
How
get
can
on
I
a
tell
bike,
if you,
maybe you don't like sitting on things like a seat post. Do you like sitting on a seat, or you don't like it's too hard for you, or maybe it causes chafing?
yeah, there's a little of that. Where I moved and there's a lot of hills where I live. So it's hard enough walking around the block. You go up and you go down. So I don't want to go woo where you lose control when you're going down,
If you
like
don't
you're in
want to
San
go woo,
Francisco.
don't go woo. If you don't want to go woo, don't go woo.
Meaning out of control and you're not sure if the brakes work when you go down a hill.
Yeah, but you check the brakes when you're at the top of the hill before you go down.
You ch-
The
you ch-
the
How
you
do
have
I
to
know when you're laughing nervously or you think something's funny?
you don't that's sort of the beauty of you being a Fred Stoller,
Yeah.
you never know what's really going on, and then even then when you find out, you're not sure, and then you doubt it, and then you go get a piece of pizza or a donut. We didn't talk about donuts. What kind of donuts do you like, Fred?
Well, after I got this, the doctor said, be careful. I've been cutting down, but I like the ones with the cream in it. I like the icing. Uh, I don't like crumb.
You don't like crumb.
I don't hate it, but
You
not as
don't
much
hate
as
it. You would like it better if there were cream in it.
yes. What about Boston cream pie is what I love.
Right.
With the icing and the cream
Oh,
in the middle and
chocolate icing, vanilla
yes,
icing,
yes.
cream. Yeah, it's just the best, but I just like a just a straight up glazed. but it's gotta just it just has to come out right before I eat it. I like it.
You know what was good? I used to live near the farmer's market, and if you didn't want to feel guilty eating too much or you wanted a little bit of both, they had something called donut holes, where it's these round things. So and it was cheaper. So I like ones they had sprinkles on them.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's really the only way to do it because sometimes it's so stupid that it's funny. It's so ridiculous that it's
That
so
it's
stupid that it's funny.
well,
Because
wait, what's the
it's so
what's
ridiculous. I mean, donut holes, for instance.
oh, that's what's ridiculous and
Yeah, but
funny.
it's like it's so stupid. These these little donuts. And then they want people to think that they're holes, but they're not holes. They're little round little balls. What do they mean holes? It
So it's so
doesn't make.
ridiculous, it's funny.
It's so stupid that it's dumb, that it's really stupid, that it's really ridiculous, and it's at the end of it, it's funny. You have to admit that it's
Well, I
so dumb.
thought, but then again, I thought it's funny that the urologist was like looking like this guy's just like he was on TV, but you didn't think that was funny.
Yeah, I don't, because I've been beaten down by being an electrician. I've been electrocuted probably over 5,000 times, and I pulled through
Oh,
every
there you
time.
I got a joke you could use. People are shocked at how bad an electrician I am.
That's it.
You don't get it. They're shocked at how bad an electrician I
Oh,
am.
shit.
I'm hoping that's not me. That I don't
I
do
hope
that.
I don't
I'm
sound like
possible.
that.
I mean, but I don't take it personally. Like Bill Maher, you see him. I don't sound like that. Learn to laugh at yourself. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
Bill Maher.
yeah, Bill Maher, you got Jimmy Kimmel, you got
No
Craig
one does a Jimmy.
Kilborn.
No one does a Jimmy Kimmel impression. Hi, Jimmy Kimmel. No, you do Jimmy Fallon impressions, not Jimmy Kimmel. There's not much to
Oh
do.
wow, it's the coolest thing in the world. I can't believe it. Fred Stoller, man. Fred Stoller, man. It's the coolest thing in the world. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Wow. I
Yeah.
gotta what? I gotta
No,
tell
that's
you.
that's Jimmy. That's it.
I gotta tell you something that he's kind of like that. I won't name names, but this is Fred, the electrician. You're not in showbiz, but I've had this happen twice where uh, two very big people have. I've been part of their group. Let come over. We watch TV shows. We watch movies. We hang out. A bunch of other people. Then all of a sudden, I'm cut. It's almost like their therapist said, "Get rid of all these deadbeat people." So I forgot. Oh yeah. So one time, one of these people that used to have parties and celebrities, but then I got cut. Jimmy Fallon was there, and he wasn't. He was on his way, but not Saturday Night Live yet. So someone did a short film that was so bad and people looking at each other. What is this? And he was going, ha, ha, well, doing the not the your Fred laugh, but he was cracking up and clapping at something that was really bad.
Yeah,
So
but
he's kind of like that.
why can't Jimmy Fallon, get excited about things? It's like, it's hard enough to be, it's hard enough to smile, but if you're going to smile, why not have your mouth open and your tongue out, or why not,
He had
you
tongue
know,
out.
just, like, do some jumping jacks or something,
Well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying this Jeff Richards guy does an impression that's not too much of an exaggeration. He
yeah.
loves everything.
Well, that's neither here nor there who does what and how, but if you're gonna look good like Jimmy Fallon, then you're gonna have to go ahead and show those legs a little bit. Don't you think you should maybe wear like less clothing or something?
Um, well, actually, there was a bit where they do Saturday Night Live player, not Saturday Night Live, a Tonight Show, where they do instruments with baby instruments. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, it's kind of good. It's where they'll do a song, a sing song, not sing song like sting song, Sting from the Police, like "Don't Stand So Close to Me," and they're doing maracas and baby things for the band. And one time he had a thing like this, and you could see he really works out. So he works out. He's
Yeah, but
muscular.
what year was that?
7, 8 years ago, I don't know
7, 8
what.
years ago, a lot can change. A lot can change with your body, and in 6 months, you can have a completely different body if you're doing the wrong thing or you're doing the right thing. I'm just saying he should show his calves or something, or maybe a little more wrist. You don't see much wrist because the suit coat goes right over the wrist. So
Whoever says there's something sexy about a wrist,
nobody says it, but they all think it. You know.
I don't know. I've never. But we're all different.
Yeah,
I'm
we're all
not.
different, but we're all spirits. We're all the same. We're all
I
that
never
ant.
got Tarantino. We're all different. Like Tarantino, the foot, the feet, the licking feet, the toenails. But but there's women. There's things feet.com and I never. Yeah, so wrist, feet, but we're all different. But it's not.
There's a restaurant called Split Feet in White Plains, New York. It's called Split Feet, and the
What?
logo is there's like this foot that's just split down the middle, and it's veering each direction. And they have it has nothing to do with any of the food they have. It's just called Split Feet, and
That's
people go
weird.
there all the time, and they just no parking, even for the restaurant. There's no park.
Before Uber, I don't know if you lived in LA, but I used to like, you try to go to a party in Beechwood Canyon and you drive up there and there's no parking. I go around for a half hour and then I would go home. So, in a way, it was a good excuse for social anxiety because I tried, there was no parking.
Yeah.
I don't think it was meant to be funny. Were you laughing
No,
nervously
I'm
because you
I'm nervous.
recalled?
Well, because I look just like you. My name's Fred Stoller. I'm retired electrician, North Plains, New York. And I have to go right now. I have to go to the grocery store for my wife. And
Well, it was good finally meeting you in sort of real life. We had some tech stuff in the beginning that gave me anxiety.
oh yeah, that was just because you hear have tech stuff happening. You don't know what you're doing. You hit the wrong button. By the way, how did you resolve the problem? Did you hit the right button? What happened?
You know, I should have recorded it. Like I said, my friend Wood, my tech guy, I FaceTimed him and he just, I feel like a monkey just banging buttons and I banged the right one that he pointed at. I feel
Well,
like,
it's
sorry.
but I'm just gonna say, you hit the right button, and I think that's a metaphor for life, and not being so hard on yourself, Fred. Because we're just people. I come from a different, completely different life, and you have your life, and it's just like. But the great thing is, I can go get a piece of pizza. You can go get a piece of pizza. It's like we can both get a piece of pizza, and maybe we should get a piece of pizza together pretty soon. Maybe
Yes, if I'm ever in White Plains or you're ever in the LA area, we'll walk down the street together and see if people can tell who's who.
or we could just walk down the street together. It doesn't have.
I know. I'm always trying to get recognized.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
you don't have to do that because you're already recognized. I recognize you.
Yeah.
That one you didn't like as much.
I'm trying
That laugh
to.
you didn't really go for. You didn't think it was the right combination of giggles and
Someone said it sounds like you're being tickled in the stomach when you laugh.
yeah, it's almost a cry for help. Our laugh is a cry
I
for help.
see.
Just a fit of a fit. We're having a fit when we laugh.
Well, I feel better that the tech stuff worked, and so you think you're not neurotic like me?
Well, I don't know. It's the night is young, you know. But no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm as neurotic as you. I'm certainly not as hard on myself as you are.
Yes, I got to work on that.
Yeah, but it's but I got to work on it. You don't have to take that as a beat down either. It's like just calmly change. And
Uh,
I
I
think
like that.
yeah, calmly change.
Well,
So
so I think I got a lot out of this.
yeah, me too. I don't know what my internet bill is going to be. They charge you when you do. I don't do a lot of these streams, but I don't know if they charge you for that. I know when you get Uber Eats, they you can't tip less than 17%, which is that's
More
my
than you wanted to.
it's a little bit more than for a euro or gyro or gyro. How do you say it? Is it
I don't know. I don't
gyro?
like to go overseas. I like to stay put.
Okay, you don't have to react like that.
Okay.
Okay, it's
I,
it's
now I'm self-conscious if I'm doing a
well,
laugh.
it's maybe you need a piece of pizza or a donut or something.
Oh no. Now I'm going to be
That
self-conscious about my laugh.
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Hang tough, like the song from the band, and we'll talk to you. Hopefully, talk to you soon.
Let me know when this is on.
It is on. We're recording right.
But I mean when it goes live so I can you know, put it
Yeah,
on social media.
of course. As soon as I find out, I'll let you know.
All right. Great talking to you.
Great.